and the normal color patterns, but I saw images around people and animals and trees.
Word spread of Scallion's strange powers. Not only could he supposedly read auras, but allegedly he could look inside the body and detect disease. Soon the sick and desperate began showing up at his door.
Gordon Michael Scallion?
Yes?
I'm sorry to disturb you like this, but this is Chris, and I'm his mom.
I'm sorry.
Please, the doctors don't know what's wrong with him, and I've heard that you're able to see inside.
Stop. I can't do it. You don't understand. I'm not a doctor. I can't help. Muscle's okay. Weakness is not from disease. That's why they don't know what it is. He's been poisoned. Heavy metals, 2 years ago.
His world of science and logic had vanished, thrusting Gordon Michael Scallion into a foreign land, a land of auras and visions. Visions which took him into deep trances. In these unconscious states, Scallion began talking, sometimes babbling about geological disasters. When he awoke, he remembered nothing, but he was always filled with a sense of impending doom. When his wife, Cynthia Cayce, first witnessed her husband's deep trances, she didn't know what was happening. But by recording his unconscious states, it was soon discovered he was predicting future geological events.
When he did go into a deep trance, his body would manifest changes. His body would go into almost a slump, and then he would sit straight up and begin to speak.
Richter 7.4, early February 1998, Southern California. A fault running east to west near Riverside. Between 1998
and prepare for the future.
I believe prophecy is given predominantly for two reasons. One is it's given to help us prepare for what is going to happen, or it helps us to change what the outcome would be. And so the loss of life could be significant unless we heed the warnings. I created a map of the future United States. This was a map that was a consolidation of the visions that I was receiving, and it represented what the United States would look like between 1998 and 2001. So the new West Coast will be in the area of Nebraska, down through Boulder and Denver, through this area is the new West Coast. And California has become a series of islands. Here, the Mississippi has expanded, the Great Lakes have merged. Good portions of New Jersey go underwater. Some of the changes occur abruptly, some of the changes give us warning signs. The worst places is wherever you are when something like this explodes.
What he once considered a burden, Scallion now calls a gift in disguise. Gordon Michael Scallion believes his prophecies will help mankind prepare for the future.
I believe prophecy is given predominantly for two reasons. One is it's given to help us prepare for what is going to happen, or it helps us to change what the outcome would be. And so the loss of life could be significant unless we heed the warnings.
Warning signs abound. A chorus of prophetic voices have predicted worldwide upheaval in the near future. But a few have taken action to ensure their survival. Paradise Valley, Montana, Big Sky country, land of cattle ranches in Yellowstone National Park, and home to 3,000 people prepared for global apocalypse. For the members of Church Universal and Triumphant, Royal Teton Ranch, Montana, is a physical and spiritual home. There they practice their New Age Christian faith and find refuge from the outside world. The church is led by Elizabeth Clare Prophet, teacher, author, and to her followers, divine messenger. Her gift of prophecy foretells a dark future.
It's a period of intensification in all of our lives. We see this in disturbances in the elements, the upheavals of tornado, of flood, tremendous storms, the Mississippi, the Missouri, sudden deaths. We see it in the last plagues. We see it in cancer and AIDS, in all kinds of incurable diseases. These are coming upon us.
Determined to survive, church members have followed Mrs. Prophet's injunction to construct dozens of bomb shelters beneath the rolling countryside.
Their main shelter complex is the largest and most complete fallout shelter in this country. They have everything in there that they feel they need to reestablish themselves on the earth after a major apocalypse has destroyed everything.
The bunkers range from family size to a massive structure designed to house 600 staff members. Each is stocked with a 7-year supply of food. They are equipped with everything from water wells and septic systems to shortwave radios and children's games.
You must be prepared for whatever kind of cataclysm or whatever kind of difficulty can arise, in which all of a sudden you may find that you don't have access to a store, so you can't get food. You don't have access to water. And we all need water and food to live on. If there's ever a disruption of the civil order, in other words, the trucking breaks down, shipping breaks down, a lot of people are just simply not going to have food.
In recent years, Mrs. Prophet claims to have foretold the rise and fall of George Bush and the 1987 stock market crash.
I awakened at 3 and 4 in the morning the day that the stock market fell and ultimately fell 500 points. I saw all that ahead of time.
Let there be a place where children are yet carefree, and let that place be called the Royal Teton Ranch.
I feel very strongly that Elizabeth Clare Prophet is an authentic spiritual leader. The people I've met in Church Universal and Triumphant were either very high-quality people to begin with, or else they have been in some manner transformed by following those teachings and following that path.
The church is a highly diverse community with a shared belief in self-reliance. It produces and processes much of its own food. It runs its own school system. And the favored entertainment comes from a musical group comprised entirely of church members, the Paradise Players. The community also believes in self-preservation, and that means preparing for the worst.
We take a lot of care to make sure that we have hospitalization insurance, fire insurance, accident, theft, and all these other things. And yet, when we look at the planet as a whole, if you really look around, you'll see that there's war all over the place.
People have been schooled to think that if someone ever pushes the button, it's all over. I think that if there is a nuclear war, or if there's a rogue launch or something like that, obviously people are going to get killed. The problem that I see is that many more people will lose their lives than is necessary. And that, to me, that's a great tragedy.
Moses told us, choose life, not death. I cannot choose to allow myself to die when I know how to protect myself and my family from dying. So to me, shelters are the way to do that. But shelters are also in the eventuality of earth changes. Major changes may be coming upon this planet. And it might be that someday the only place to be safe just from earth changes is underground. We shouldn't plan on dying. We should accept life and know that we have to pass on our culture to posterity. So I have members on every continent, and they have centers, they have shelters. I have placed the repository of the entire body of our teachings on each of these continents and in many nations on microfiche. 500 years from now, or 1,000 years from now, when technology is back on its legs, we will find that these groups of people all over the world have evolved and developed and maintained what we had of a civilization by the end of the 20th century.